today is the 4th birthday of the channel, so we just thought, you know, like we were looking into doing some live streaming anyway. What better way to kick things off? So we got a birthday ribbon and we got cake, but something else as well I found, which I thought might be fun that we could do for a little bit. I've been doing a lot of clearing out. I found this. Now what's this? These are all of my, look at that. That's what we used to have in the before times. That is a physical ticket, a cardboard paper actual ticket that you can hold in your hand. So I thought might be nice to have a look back at some of these old tickets, considering we're talking about memories and stuff. The top of this one is very faded. I don't know if you can read that one. The very first gig I ever went to, the Black Crusade at the MEN in Manchester. Shadows Fall, Arch Enemy, Dragon Force, Trivium and Machine Head. And that was on Wednesday the 21st of November 2007. Pretty good gig, yeah. Do you want to know the this is how far we've fallen? That ticket cost £29.95. This was Machine Head after they'd just released the Blackening. Trivium had just released the Crusade. Dragon Force was just after Inhuman Rampage. So these are like, you know, they're absolute prime. 30 quid. 30 quid for 5 bands in an arena. That today would be about 110, 120 quid. Next up, I mean, they're all like blue tacked together. I used to have these all on my wall. Avenged Sevenfold, Monday the 21st of January 2008. £16. Avenged Sevenfold, £16. £16. Sorry, I know this is very much like old man shouts at cloud. Megadeth, about a month after that, £20. And look, it's an actual physical ticket that you can keep and hold. And Slam Dunk 2022, £85 for Slam Dunk North in 2022. 3 years later, that same ticket is £139. Oh, sorry, it'll be 4 years later. Sorry, by the time next year's festival comes around. Is that £55 increase? £55 increase in 4 years. Yeah, tells you all you need to know, really, doesn't it? I mean, these are all faded because they're all so old now. But Unholy Alliance, which was Slayer, Trivium, Mastodon, and Amon Amarth for 30 quid again. Like, you wouldn't be able to see one of those bands for 30 quid now. This is what we're missing with physical tickets, is the ability to look back on things. Children of Bodom, rest in peace, Lexi Leo, £16.50 in 2009. You know, Lamb of God and Job for a Cowboy. Like, most of these were in from the Manchester Academy. That was like the go-to venue back then for those bands of that kind of size coming up. Trivium, it just says plus special guests. I can't remember who supported them then. £16.50. This is a special one. That is a very special one. Stone Sour and Avenged Sevenfold, and Avenged Sevenfold and Stone Sour. So they did a co-headline tour in 2010, and they took turns headlining it. And Manchester was the only venue that they played twice, but they played them like a week apart. I don't know why they didn't just do 2 nights back to back. So that's Wednesday the 27th of October, and that was Thursday the 4th of November. So 8 days between them. £27.50. Avenged Sevenfold and Stone Sour for £27.50. And then that one is a very special one. That was signed by every member of Stone Sour. Paramore, £22.50. Insane. Just having these physical tickets, you can't really see. Let me hold them up to the camera properly so you can see. Like, how special is it to have all of these and be able to look back and think, like, as you know, just for a few minutes there, and I've gone, oh yeah, that was where that happened. That was where that happened. And you can't do that with, like, just a Ticketmaster email. Wow. Now, even going to the gig with a physical ticket felt more. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Because you just like, I've got my ticket in my hand here. Like, you know, that Sonosphere Festival, my first ever festival. The big four: Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, Biffy Clyro headlining the Saturday, and Slipknot headlining the Sunday, and then the rest of that. Like, but look at that. That just looks like a good ticket. It's got the headliners printed on the ticket. What's that? £170 for that, for a 3-day weekend camping festival, and it just looks better. What was my first ever gig? I've got the ticket here. We just looked at it there. That one there, the Black Crusade, Machine Head, Trivium, Dragon Force, Arch Enemy, and Shadows Fall. On the 21st of November 2007. So if someone was born on the day I went to my first ever gig, they're about a month away from being 18, which makes me feel so old. But yeah, that, like, it just looks, these old tickets, they just look better. And as you said there, Dan, like, even going to the gig, having it in your hand just felt special. That one there, Corey Taylor doing his book tour. I've got the book in over there somewhere. He signed the book and stuff. We got to meet him and stuff. And that was not long after, I think that was only about a year or two after Paul Gray died. So it was like a Q&A thing. So he did like a couple of readings from the book, like read a couple of chapters, played a couple of songs. I think that was the first ever place he played the SpongeBob SquarePants theme tune. And now every time he does a solo gig, he kind of gets made to do it. I think someone asked him what his favourite ever memory of Paul was. And he told this story about how Slipknot went to Disneyland. But like, it was before the first album came out. But they were still experimenting with like costumes and boiler suits and masks and stuff. He said they went to Disneyland dressed up in these like black leather. They weren't quite boiler suits, but they weren't jackets. They were like, I don't know what they were, how he described them. But there was these big black jacket things with the masks on. And he said that you can imagine Slipknot with the masks on walking through Disneyland is a sight anyway. And he said, and Paul was terrified of roller coasters. There's one where like two people sit next to each other. He said, and Corey was sat next to Paul, and the bar came down. And just as the ride was about to take off, Corey goes, he just turns to Paul and goes, does this thing feel loose to you? And then the ride shot off. And Corey said he's never laughed so much in his entire life as when the noises that Paul was making, thinking that the bar wasn't done properly and was going to come loose. And you could tell, you know, that was just like they loved each other so much, you know. And it was really nice to get to share that with him as well, like him telling that story. And even like having that memory now, remembering him telling that story, is all because I found that ticket. Just because I've seen that ticket and gone, oh, that was a thing that happened. That was a nice thing that happened. You know, you don't get that with just you. When was the last time you were able to like, look back on a souvenir that you didn't have to buy? When they throw in like an extra charge of, would you like a ticket would you like one sent out to you after the event for like an extra £2 or something? Yeah, it's getting a bit silly. Black Sabbath and the wristband that we got given on the way into the venue, blue tacked to the thing. Oh my god, look at the colour difference there. £61. I mean, we paid £280 to see the Black Sabbath's last ever gig this year. So Killswitch Engage and Trivium, £20. Both of those bands have headlined Bloodstock Festival, and I know like that was a long time ago before those bands were like headline worthy. Most of those hits were already out by then. Like Killswitch Engage had already released, you know, like Mike Hurst, Rosa Sharon. Trivium had already released Ascendancy and Shogun. Like, that is insane value for money. £20 for both of them back to back. My first ever download ticket. Download 2012, the 10th anniversary. £190. And now what's next year is going to be £350. So that's £160 increase. I mean, I suppose over, what, 14 years? An extra tenner a year, maybe? That was my first download as well. Yeah, how good was that? There's the poster on the wall. That's that main stage on the Saturday. As I Lay Dying, Saxon, Black Veil Brides, Trivium, Steel Panther, Tenacious D, Biffy Clyro, Metallica doing the Black Album in full. That alone would be worth 190 quid. And again, look how nice it looks. Like it was stylized like the poster. Look at the Metallica snake there with the sorry, the colours are going all funny on this stupid camera. With the download dog holographic on it and everything, and the Metallica snake, and it just looks so cool. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Sorry. So was it download this year or some other festival this year or some other event this year that sent out tickets after the fact when people had paid like £1 or £2 extra for the souvenir ticket, and it was literally just like a white piece of cardboard with like the name of the event on it, just like that, basically just a white piece of thing, and it just said Download Festival on it. Compare that to that with like the holographic. It's got it's even got your barcode there to be scanned, so there's no messing about with like Wi-Fi and stuff. And then on the back of the ticket here, it's got a little map directing you to the camp, to the sites. It's got all your terms and conditions on it and stuff like that. Like everything you need to know was printed on your ticket. Like I say, I know this is very much like old man yells at cloud, but I'm sorry, it just was better with physical tickets, wasn't it? That is actually a ticket that my band played as one of our first ever gigs, with our AAA thing next to it, and that band was called Kadolisha, because we thought we were cool, and it was Kesha, but the dollar. Kadolisha. Yeah, we thought it was cool, and that was £6, so that was great value for money. That is download 2014, and again, look, it just looks, it's stylized. It's got the, it would have been nice to have like the headliners on it, like the other one, but still, I suppose there's only so much room for all the information and stuff you need on it as well. From 2012 to 2014, it went from 190 to 205. That's not too bad. There you go. Got the headliners printed on it. Slipknot, Muse and Kiss 2015. Another great year. Enter Shikari, my favourite band. The band that everybody else is off seeing right now in Watford. I'm not jealous at all. Slipknot and Korn, if anyone remembers that tour, was insane. They just released the Grey Chapter. It was the first run of shows after Paul had died. Like first proper tour. They'd done some festivals and stuff. £39.50. So Korn just played, was it Finsbury Park this year? That was like £80 a ticket. And they're supporting Slipknot, and it's half the price. I promise I'm going to stop just going on about the prices, but it is weird to look back and just think. Enter Shikari at the Camp and Furnace. That was the Christmas party. There you go. That was the Christmas party in 2014, when I ended up in the dressing room with them all drinking, and that was the first time that like we got chatty with them and friendly with them and stuff. Jonathan just wondered, did you ever go to Sonosphere Festival at Nebworth? Yes. Where did I put it? I found the coach ticket. See, that's when there was physical tickets for coaches as well, and it was the actual Sonosphere coach travel ticket. It wasn't just like a National Express thing. It was like part of a package deal thing. It's just nice having those two together. But the whole thing altogether was £225. So So the 3-day camping, because Sonosphere was only a 3-day camping festival. It wasn't like a, they didn't have any extra days. £170 for the ticket, so 55 for the coach, return coach, which is still, a great price. Took you directly to the site, picked you up directly from the site. That's like not even half of them. How good were physical tickets? I've just found this one. Defenders of the Faith. That's that one. That was Trivium headlining with In Flames and I want to say Ghost. I could be wrong. No, 2011. No, I don't think it was Ghost. It was Trivium and In Flames. Was it Whitechapel maybe? But anyway, Trivium signed it. we were like waiting by the tour bus, and it was a cold, wet December night in Manchester. Corey Beaulieu from Trivium, the guitarist, like took Chris's ticket, and as he was signing it, he like dropped it, and it was windy, and the ticket got blown under the tour bus, and so Chris is like shimmying under the bus to try and get his ticket back, and we're all going, you should have like just said, that ticket's gone, like Corey's lost my ticket, and see if Corey could kind of go, oh well, I'm really sorry about that, we'll put you on the guest list or something like that. But they managed to get it back in the end. My first ever Enter Shikari show, Saturday the 8th of October 2011. That was 14 years ago last week. I am old. Kadolisha. See, so that's just Kesha, except you pronounce the dollar. Yeah, we thought it was funny at the time. I could be here for hours going through all of these. Cancer Bats, Bring Me the Horizon, at the O2 Academy in Liverpool, which holds about 1,200 people. Can you imagine Bring Me the Horizon playing to 1,200 people in a tiny sweatbox in Liverpool now? You want to look at the state of ticket prices. AC/DC at the Etihad Stadium in Manchester in 2016, £72.50. I think they played in Edinburgh. Was it a few months ago? And it was about double. Like that's the ticket from 2016. Look how there's just so much thought put into it. It just looks nice. It just looks special, as if like you're supposed to keep them as a keepsake. And those ones that I think I'm pretty sure it was download. Those ones that they sent out this year, where it was just like a plain bit of cardboard. It really wound me up, because it's just like you're asking people to pay extra money for this ticket. The least you could do is put like the festival logo on it, and it wasn't even that. It was just like I'm 95% certain it was Download Festival, and it was just Download Festival. Bit of a in like standard like Arial font or whatever it was. It just feels like, what are we actually paying you for then, if you're just gonna, you get people making their own tickets and selling them online who do a much better job, rather than like Download hiring those people to do tickets for them. They just, yeah. I don't want to get too negative. Oh, Shikari again, typical. Where was that one? The Liverpool Olympia in 2017. So the amount of signatures from those lot I've got. And then tickets started getting... You can literally track like the progression of the state of tickets, because then you start getting into the ones that you'd have to like print at home yourself. We can send you a ticket, or you can... This one is cool. That is actually probably one of my favourite tickets that we've seen so far. Rammstein, Coventry, and it's got the actual like stage and stuff on it. £73.50 for a Rammstein show. But apart from that, it was like, just print them out yourself. We can't be bothered. I think that is the last ticket that I have. Last like paper ticket that I have. Physical ticket. Which is Biffy Clyro. Plus special guests, which were Architects. That was on Bonfire Night in November 2022, which loads of us went to. That was a really good night. We got a chance to just see people that we'd not seen for a while. And like going back to what I was saying at the start of this stream, that's kind of why we started the channel in the first place.